The Justin Robert Young show. You know, it is kind of beneath me to be reading ads. Let me go ahead and bring in a trained professional. Hey, y'all, it's me, the Ad Dragon. If you want to support this show, then why don't you get your little hot cross buns all on over to patreon.com/JuRY. Well, hell, I'll tell you, it is where you can not only support this show, but also the Politics show. Well, I'll be a honeydew melon in the wintertime. That's 2 podcasts for the price of 1. And what is that price, Ad Dragon? Well, I'll tell you. It's whatever you gosh darn well feel it should be. Just head on over there to patreon.com/JuRY to get yourself a piece. Woo! Woo! And buy stickers or DIAF.com. That is where you can buy stickers that are themed for everybody here in the Diamond Club. Well, we got art from Carter Johnson. We have got meme art. We've got the $5 famous sticker pack, which currently will get you memes like that boy and the photo that the Cincinnati Zoo doesn't want you to see and the Doge, all in Diamond Club fashion. Well, you just head on over there right now, stickers or DIAF.com, and get yourself some stickers. In fact, every single week, we on the Justin Robert Young podcast give away a set of stickers for free if you just sign up for the mailing list, bit.ly/stickers or DIAF. And the winner this week, well, the Ad Dragon will tell you, is Justin Borowski. So head on over there, buy some stickers, unless you're Justin Borowski. In that case, you're getting them for free. But enough of talking about how we do the show by the Ad Dragon. Let's introduce to you the one, the only, Justin Robert Young.
On the day that we met on the internet, I asked her for a photograph. She sent it over to me, said, I know it's ugly. And I said, girl, ugly ain't the half, look at you. Well, you got blue teeth and you only got 2 teeth, but I kinda like to see you smile. And it appears that over the years you've turned into a big old steaming pile. And she said, yeah, I know I ain't no supermodel. I said, you ain't a hand model, baby, but that's fine, 'cause you're pretty ugly by most people's standards, but you're alright by mine.
Welcome to the Justin Robert Young Show. Thanks to the Ad Dragon for doing the ad reads. I'm kind of done with doing the ad reads. I think we're going to have the Ad Dragon do the ad reads from here on out. Well, we patched up our differences. Big shout out to everybody that is here live, throwing the Mahoy emotes here in the chat. Mahoy Dan Wally, Mahoy TVZ Gun, Mahoy Sunbun, and Open Bayou. Welcome to yet another edition of the Justin Robert Young podcast. My name is Justin Robert Young. It's not just a clever name. We're here for you, friends. We got a ton to talk about. I feel like this is just going to turn into me talking about the news. I don't know if anyone's going to like it. I think there's a good chance everybody might hate it. But we had a great reaction to people emailing in about the trend pieces about crabbing. Well, here, I'll just read. Nick wrote in an email. I love the show, and last week's show on trend pieces was great. I generally hate reading news sites because of them and other bad exposés. I unsubscribed from my local LA Times because they were so bad about it. Anyway, I was digging through the web on my break and I discovered this gem, a deep dive on whether a trend is real or not. The trend, you ask? Well, folks, look no further than the Arby's Meat Mountain. The Arby's Meat Mountain. This is an article from Slate.com. Browbeat, Slate's culture blog. And here is the incendiary headline. Is Arby's Meat Mountain a mountain of lies? A skeptic investigates. Now, you just know this story is off to a great start. Because you don't normally need to say in the headline that a skeptic is investigating. You know, normally that's kind of assumed. It's not like you're randomly going to start reading an investigative piece and then find out 3 paragraphs in that, oh, no, I'm just a guy. I like going to Arby's. So I went to Arby's, and it was a fun time. And that's it. This is a little old. Yeah, this is from 2014. But do you want to know what? We deserve to dig in on this. I'm just going to read dramatically L.V. Anderson's piece here. On Monday, the Washington Post published an in-depth article about Arby's business fortunes and marketing strategies, accompanied by a much shorter article about Arby's Meat Mountain, an off-menu sandwich that contains 8 types of meat: chicken tenders, roast turkey, ham, corned beef, brisket, Angus steak, roast beef, and bacon. Can you guess which story was more popular? The Meat Mountain story went bona fide viral, garnering salivating coverage everywhere from Time, Business Insider, to CNBC and Fox News. The word on this story, as you read further, is that according to Arby's, this happened because they put stanchions out in the lobby where they just had a sandwich with all that meat on it, right? And that people were so transfixed, lonely ships in the harbor, only to have their eye caught by the splendorous spire of a lighthouse. They were drawn to it like moths to the flame, so much so that they would go to the front, and they would say, "Give me the sandwich on the sign." They'd say it's not on the menu, and everybody would just lean right into that 14-year-old person making $3 an hour and say, "You listen here, you son of a bitch. You get back there, you throw all that meat on a sandwich, and I'm going to eat all of it. And I'm going to need horsey sauce." Oh, you're right. Hold on. Wait a minute. Let's zoom in. Hold on. "You listen here, you dirty millennial. If you don't get me this goddamn meat mountain, I'm going to go ham. Which means hard as a motherfucker. Not the delicious pork product that I want on my meat mountain." And lo, Arby's complied. But not before LV decided to go in depth. She interviewed... She interviewed people. Some of them were interested to not speak truth to power. Somebody tweeted back to her, "I'm sorry, but we're not allowed to discuss the sandwich with any writers. That would be grounds for termination." But there was Chris Guy, a 17-year-old who's worked at Arby's in Pennsylvania for 6 months. He said, "My first encounter with the sandwich was when I was working frontline, and a gentleman came in and asked if I could order the sandwich with all the meats on it." Guy says he insisted that his coworker get a sandwich with every single meat and pointed to a standing sign that had a stack of all the meats pictured on it. Eventually, another Arby's employees pointed Guy to a new Meat Mountain button on the register and showed him how to make it. Can you still get a meat mountain at Arby's? I mean, this is from 2014. I don't know. Is that possible? Can you do that? Like, I assume at Arby's, like, should do it. I really don't know. I mean, again, we were going to talk about trend pieces this entire episode, and I've already gotten sidetracked onto Arby's. I don't know if I would like all those meats together. I mean, certainly it's a meme, right? Oh, apparently, yes. Our own producer on the Night Attack podcast, Bryce Neshcom Castillo, apparently got one. They do have the meats. Apparently here was the sign that started everything. Meatcraft. It's what makes the sandwich. And it literally just has all these meats one on top of each other. So I guess they're not on a sandwich in the sign. It just looks like a delicious pile of meat. It appears as if the skeptic reporter backs down on this by the end of it. This is the closing paragraph of her story. Of course, Meat Mountain might have indeed gone viral by genuine, unprompted word-of-mouth enthusiasm if Arby's waited long enough. But as many other supposedly viral stories have shown us again and again, these stories can be engineered, and they are most likely to blow up if you're a big brand that can give them a little beef. So wait. How is... All right, so apparently her point is that the Meat Mountain was on the menu before they started putting out these signs, but apparently the guy, man, this is shoddy reporting. This is bullshit. LV Anderson, you want to know what? Yeah, we got beef now. That's just you're out here typical lamestream media, right? They want to go in there. They want to get... We'll zoom in for this. They want to get in there. They want to get their story. They're going to jam in whatever facts they can just so they can go ahead and make their deadline because, that's just what happens. That's just how it goes, apparently, in 2017. What happened to real journalism? What happened, huh? What happened to... Snurdly, apparently lady reporter LV Anderson from Slate.com has tried to poke holes in the Meat Mountain, allegedly claiming that this was a engineered viral success. Snurdly. I mean, I love meats. We'll be right back. 1059 The Cat. We got more trends. We got more trends to get to. Here's one. This is another paper of record here. Cosmopolitan. We talked about dating trends. We talked about stealthing a couple of weeks ago. And stealthing, apparently, is when you're having sex with somebody and you secretly remove your condom and you then achieve full release. Matuba in the chat wants me to stossel this next story. Maybe we'll stossel this next story. So I made the claim that I think trend stories can be a little silly. Trend stories can be sometimes a little bit inflated compared to what they normally are. But I got a lot of people sending me a lot of different stuff. about other trend stories, specifically dating and sex trend stories. So I feel like this might, again, become a larger part of the show if people want to keep sending me stuff. JustinRobertYoung@gmail.com, of course, is the place to do that. Put JuRY in the subject line. So this one comes from Cosmopolitan. This was last year. Forget ghosting. Benching is the new dating trend in town, and we can't decide what's worse. Let's go ahead and read the work of Katronia Harvey Jenner. And I will read this in the voice of John Stossel. If you've ever used a dating app, you'll probably be familiar with the term ghosting. No, it's not throwing over a white sheet over your head or jumping out at your housemate, although that might be a little bit more fun. It's actually the name given to the pretty harsh practice of ditching someone you've dated by vanishing into thin air. You cut all contact with them, become a literal ghost. Get it? Yeah, told you it was mean. But in this world we live in, with so many potential hotties at our fingertips, we can't waste time on duds if we think we might spot someone better out there for us. But ghosting has got a new dating trend hot on its heels, and if recent reports are to be believed, it's benching. It's almost worse than your date vanishing into thin air. I asked James Randi. No, all right, here. No more Stossel. So here we go. Benching is a term which appears to have been coined by New York Magazine writer Jason Chen, and occurs when you start dating someone and you think they're nice, they're okay, you're not like mad about them, but they tick a few fair boxes. You carry on dating them, or do you carry on dating them or sack them off and move to the next one? Oh, this is British people speak. This is where benching comes into play. Instead of going for either of the two former rash options, you simply place your date in your mental maybe folder and bench them, as they say in the sporting world, and scout around to see what's out there. If somebody better comes along, you hit your benchy with a Simon Cowell-esque "it's a no from me," and if no one comes to sweep you off your feet, you stick rather than twist. Thanks. It's all pretty harsh. Hedonist Ogre and the Bio Cow have a similar reactions to mine, which is, this kind of just sounds like dating, right? I mean, isn't this what happens all the time? Like, did people just come up with a name for it? Like, I'm not hating on it if they just came up with a name for it, because, like, I mean, everything's got to have a name at some point. I guess maybe here's the difference. Here's the difference with this. Is that before, if you were dating somebody and you're like, "Hey, babe, yeah, no, things are going great. You want to go to the Shake Shack and then, like, I don't know, go play paintball?" Do people still play paintball? Like, if you're doing that, but secretly you're on the hunt for somebody else, you're an asshole. Right? You're a dick. It's a shitty thing to do. Because, yes, for you would like to not be without companionship, sex, attention, whatever you're getting out of this previous relationship. You would like to not give that up until you can make a safe hop from one to the other. But that is leading somebody else on. So, is the trend here just giving too many names to dickhead behavior? The Bio Cow says it's the new trend, coupling. It's where you are around somebody, going on various different activities. Some take it as far as living together before getting married. I feel like we should start that. We should write the trend piece about coupling. Like, the millennials call it coupling. And just see if anybody notices. Just literally describe dating and just say, can you believe these millennials? What they're doing? Oh my God. You know, a lot of them, many who have enjoyed coupling, were introduced to their coupler by a mutual friend. Some have even said they've met their couplers at work. But it's not all bread and honey. Is that a thing kids love? But it's not all Pokemon and Molly. What would be the youth appropriate thing? It's not all anime and amphetamines. I guess that'd be more the 90s. Some couplers have reported friendship splintering when they've tried to couple one of their friends' siblings. All right. Keep sending me these. Keep sending me benching. What the hell, benching? You're just being a dick. What was wrong with being a dick? I'm all right. I'm back on the side where forget these people. Forget these people, okay? You know, just always with the names. With the names. We got a name. You're a dick. You're a dick. Or a bitch. And either way is appropriate. Regardless of gender. The full gender scale. All of you are dicks and bitches. If you are like intentionally trying to like leave somebody in some sort of limbo while you go off to find your jollies elsewhere. Oh my God. Oh my God. All right, here we go. I'm just getting old, maybe. How about this? So many of you have told me, Justin, I love listening to you on podcasts. You know, I love watching you on Twitch. You know, I feel like really the only problem I have, and this is a major problem for me, is that when I start listening to one of your amazing shows, up to and including 1-900 Wrestling, the segment on the morning stream, JuRY, Politics, Night Attack, other things that I can't remember, Daily Tech News Show on Thursdays, and the hours that I spend playing Hearthstone right here on Twitch. The problem is that it ends. Yeah, that's the problem. The problem is that it eventually there's an end to the show. What I need to do is more stuff. So I've done Hotline Monday. I can't remember all of my shows. It's beginning to become a problem. But hell, if I'm already in the process of not remembering all of them, why not add one more? So that's what I've done. Beginning last week, you can go ahead and listen to the first beta episode on my SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/JustinRYoung. You can listen to the Untitled Kickstarter podcast. I am doing a new Kickstarter. It's the reason why I have this dumb mustache with John Teasdale. It's going to be a new card game in the same way that The Contender was a card game. This is going to be a better card game. It's going to be called Action News. It's going to launch June 30th. But something that a lot of people found really interesting on when we wrote a bunch of Medium articles about the money behind The Contender was kind of that backstage, that behind the curtain experience of how do you put stuff together. I mean, a lot of people ask us about how we put together a Kickstarter that raised $140,000. A lot of people ask us about how we then immediately spent all that money. In fact, spent much more than that and went $60,000 into debt. So this is going to be literally the step-by-step journey of us doing this Kickstarter. This will not go forever. This will end when the Kickstarter has run its course, or shortly after, as we kind of make our final decisions on where we're going to spend the money. But we're going to be as open and transparent as possible on this show, to the point where I have already said something that I immediately regret saying. I regret saying how much I expect to make on this Kickstarter, because it is wild and unrealistic, and I think it makes me come off like a demented, arrogant lunatic. Which I'm not saying I'm not. I'm not saying that I'm not a demented, arrogant lunatic, but I would prefer not to wear that on my sleeve in the way that I did on that podcast. So if you want to check it out, then go ahead on over to my SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Justin R. Young, and listen to it there. The Untitled Kickstarter beta, we're going to be recording them on Wednesdays, and eventually we'll be doing it live here on this show. So yeah, Sunbun says bold move, Cotton, and as soon as you listen to how much I expect to make, it's going to taint this entire process. Because now your guys are going to know that I'm not happy if we don't get there. You guys are going to feel bad because we're not going to get there. It's a very ambitious goal. It was literally just within me to kind of be this motivation between me and the team. And now it's going to be what it is. And we'll figure out what that is as we go along, but you can listen to it. Watch me and pre-embarrass myself as you listen to this podcast, and then, make it clear in your head. Oh, wait, hold on. My SoundCloud might not be right. Is it soundcloud.com/ Oh, it's Justin Robert Young. Sorry, Justin Robert Young. SoundCloud.com/ Justin Robert Young is where you can get it. Go ahead and check it out. Untitled Kickstarter podcast beta, 48 minutes, business podcast. There we go. All right, moving on. You seen this Nugs kid? Huh? You seen this kid? He loves chicken nuggets, man. He's obsessed. He's obsessed with these chicken nuggets. If you're unfamiliar with the story, he sent out this tweet to Wendy's. Carter Wilkerson is his name. Yo, Wendy's, how many retweets for a year of free chicken nuggets? Wendy's, who has a very active social media presence, many times just roasting other fast food restaurants, told him 18 million. This, at the time, would have been substantially larger than the most retweeted tweet of all time, held by Ellen DeGeneres, who took like a very famous selfie at the Oscars for that was retweeted 3.4 million times. And so now this kid had kind of gone viral by challenging Wendy's and then letting the internet hoist him. The news today is that he has the most retweeted tweet of all time. Let's go ahead and see this. Nevada teen Carter Wilkerson has successfully ousted Ellen DeGeneres for the world record for the most retweeted tweet of all time. The title, previously held by Ellen at 3.4 million retweets, comes a little after a month after Wilkerson asked the Wendy's Twitter account how many retweets he would need for a year's supply of chicken nuggets, and they responded with 18 million. Since then, brands and celebrities poured their support for Wilkerson. Apple Music, Google, Microsoft, and actor Aaron Paul, T-Mobile CEO John Legere, and Ellen DeGeneres herself. Apparently United tried to tweet this and everybody shit on them. Oh, how amazing is that? If you can get the 18 million retweets, we'll give you a free flight to any Wendy's in the world that we serve. Good luck. And then immediately people says, you're pathetic. Oh, Jesus. I mean, also, like, poor United. I know I'm a United apologist, but Jesus Christ. Like, it is still a free flight. They offered the kid a free flight. So for everybody else, it's just like, oh, bandwagon fuck sticks. Like, I don't know. If you're the kid, you'd still want a free flight. So here we go. Wilkerson appeared on The Ellen Show on April 18th, about a week and a half after his initial tweet, where she proposed that if he makes it 18 million retweets, she'll give him a special prize, but on the condition that he doesn't surpass her own record by asking fans to retweet both of their accounts, and they surged to 18 million together. Oops, sorry. Since the tweet went viral, Wilkerson has pivoted his objective a bit, promising that once the record is broken, Wendy's will donate $100,000 to the Dave Thomas Foundation for adoption. Wendy's also confirmed that Dean will get his nuggets, although it didn't specify how many pieces he'll be allotted per day. For the amount of press the company got, though, complying with Wilkerson's nugget demand sounds like a bargain. So how many is he at? So he is, yeah, he just barely passed Ellen DeGeneres' 3.4 million retweets. Help me, please. A man needs his nugs, is what he tweeted. Well, Ellen, back in when she was hosting the Oscars, March 2014, said, if only Bradley's arm was longer, best photo ever, hashtag Oscars. And that was like Kevin Spacey and Lupita Nyong'o, Meryl Streep. All these motherfuckers got to pay for nugs, huh? All these assholes. They roll up to a Wendy's. Brad Pitt walks up to a Wendy's, huh? He's just like, I'm going to need some nuggets. Come on. Give me some nuggets. Brad Pitt. Yeah. Brad Pitt, man. I need some nuggets. Give me money, says the Wendy's frontline cashier. Now my boy Carter Wilkerson's going to walk in there moonwalking. He's going to walk in there in a Ric Flair robe saying, whether or not you like it, learn to love it. Give me them nugs. Boom. They just got to empty out the whole goddamn fryer. They just got to empty out the whole, just drop it in there and then throw it on the counter. Throw it on the counter like it's a fish haul, right? Just gigantic, just waves of nuggets, like it was the perfect storm, and the waves are crashing over the bow of the boat. Yeah, nuggets right in your face. This guy is just going to be swimming in them. He's going to be controlling the waves of nuggets, like in Fantasia. He'll just be like, nugget wave all over everybody's face. This kid Carter. I mean, he's going to end up on crack, right? I mean, this is I don't know. Does this make him a genius future CEO, or does it make him a definite crackhead? Let's chart this kid's future based on one action. Let's go ahead and use one data point and create an entire statistical model. Because I figure that, like, this is probably, just some random thing. But like, if he's smart, he's learned a lot of lessons on marketing. Yeah, he can get a job at any advertising agency, right? You put that on your resume. Drop out of high school now. Why do we just need to? Is he still in high school? This Carter Wilkerson guy? Because he should drop out. He should drop out, and when they're saying, but what about your degree? He should print out his tweet and say, this is the only thing I need. This is an international passport for me to travel the world and have nothing but financial success. I'm already benching 3 bad bitches right now. That's what Carter Wilkerson's life is about. The Denver Nuggets social media brand should be on all this. They should be telling him, live in the stadium and tweet about the Nuggets. Your brand is Nuggets, kid. Stay in your lane. I can't imagine what I'd do if I'd done this. Probably nothing. I'd probably do nothing about it. But I feel like this kid he's got something. He's got something. I mean, he's got nuggets. That's for goddamn sure. Here's his picture. This smiling little guy. Look at this. This was Wendy's today. This morning. Taking the picture. Hashtag Nugs for Carter. Carter is now the most retweeted tweet of all time. That's good enough for the Nuggets, and 100,000 to the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption. Consider it done. Hashtag Nugs for Carter. Nugs, not drugs. He could definitely do that, right? He could be the anti-drug voice of a generation, this kid. We got a couple more stories before we get into your emails here. These are just great. By the way, big shout out to everybody who hangs out with us live, twitch.tv/Justin R. Young. You guys were just on fire today, giving me all these great stories to talk about. How about this one here? Spirit Airlines cancellations at Fort Lauderdale Airport causes chaos. Let's just go ahead here. I'm just going to read the lead here. Security cell phone video captured the mayhem that erupted Monday night at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport after hundreds of travelers became stranded. This is my hometown airport. This is the airport that I fly in and out of back when I was living in Florida and I was going. It's the airport that I first flew to college from. It's the airport that I flew out to the West Coast from. I know this airport. I have known it since I was a child. After hundreds of travelers became stranded, this is a shittily written story, and I'll point out why. Security wrestled with unruly passengers as punches flew, leading to at least 3 arrests. Screams wailed through the under-construction terminal as officers wrestled passengers to the ground. At the Spirit Airlines ticket counter, swarms of distraught customers waited 2 to 3 hours in an attempt to learn why they'd been stranded in Broward County, Florida. That is a great sentence. Why they had became stranded in Broward County, Florida. Well, I would wonder exactly that when you don't tell us why they were stranded in the first 3 fucking paragraphs. God damn it. Throw that in there at the top. You find out later this is because of a strike between Spirit Airlines and their pilots, and Spirit Airlines is not happy about it. But just throw this up here. Cell phone video captured the mayhem that erupted Monday night at the Fort Lauderdale International Airport after hundreds of travelers became stranded due to a strike between pilots and Spirit Airlines. Don't bury the nugs, says ICU. And blah, blah, blah. Spirit Airlines is garbage. They've had fights like this before with their pilots and their staff. They seem to be a garbage company. You know, again, that's all I'm saying. Everybody wants to jump up United's pee hole. There are at least 5 other far more insidious airlines out there. But let's just do what really makes me happiest, and that is just watching some ratchet Florida stuff happen. Well, here, we're going to wait for some shitty paint ad to be done. But I love whenever Florida gets ratchet as hell. I love fights. I love pushing. I love dash cam videos. I love cops. Whatever it is, if it's in my home state and it's people acting a fool, That is where I want to be. It makes me feel like I'm home again. All right, here we go. I think we got we're done with this Home Depot ad. Less saving, more doing. Here we go.
This was an intense scene. Multiple Spirit Airlines flights canceled. Fights in the airport terminal, not only with airport employees, but then the police got involved. Spirit blames it all on a labor dispute with its own pilots. Another day, another incident involving an airline.
Oh,
This time
yeah.
on a plane,
Oh, get it.
inside a passenger terminal. Overnight, cell phone videos posted online capturing the wild scene at the Spirit Airlines ticketing desk after some 9 flights were canceled. The terminal at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport erupting in chaos. Emotions boiling over, fights breaking out when the cancellations left hundreds of travelers stranded.
Lines were 2 to 3 hours.
Oh, I wonder if she's coming out back into the bay. She was wearing an Oakland
The
A's shirt.
cancellations come during an ongoing labor dispute.
All right, here we go. This is amazing. And also, by the way, even if there was no dispute between Spirit and their staff, there is a 50% chance this would have happened anyway. Anybody who has flown on a Spirit Airlines flight understands that the entire process is literally just there to harsh your zen. Like, that's all they want to do. They want to needle you and needle you and needle you and needle you. Oh, are you upset yet? Are you upset yet? Have you upset yet? Oh, hey, $5, please. What do you mean? I'm just sitting here in the seat. Yes. The seat that you've reclined 1 inch. It's $5 an inch. They are garbage. Whenever you are flying somewhere, I know a lot of people here don't travel a lot. You might be tempted one day to go to your local Expedia.com. Oh, look, I'm comparing prices. Delta is expensive. United is expensive. American is expensive. But what? But what? There is one option that gets me there close to the same speed, but costs $120 less. Oh. Booked. Spirit Airlines. Congratulations, you played yourself. Because sure, yeah, Spirit Airlines, 120 less there when you buy it online. Guess where it's not 120 less? When you show up and you, despite the fact that they don't do a great job of telling you, you have to pay for every bag. Oh, but most of the major airlines do that, Justin. Stop sucking United's dick for 5 seconds and tell the truth. Okay. Here's something that United does, or United doesn't do, that Spirit does. How about charge you to put your bags in the overhead? Okay. How about the fact that all of their seats are closer together? Oh. How about the fact that even then, after they've jammed you closer together, and now you have to deal with this fight with everybody because they're pissed off because they didn't realize that they don't have cash so they can put their bag above them. That they also have the entire cabin littered with advertising like it's a minor league baseball stadium. That too. That too. And then they try to sell you on a credit card at the end of it. As if the idea of earning free flights on Spirit would be something that you would be thrilled about. It's the only way that you should ever go on a Spirit Airlines flight. You are bringing literally 0 bags. You are going one way, and you get rolled on like Nosferatu. They place you in your seat in a comatose state. They then wheel you off without ever waking up on the flight, and they lay you down in the center of the airport, and you wind up waking up like the Undertaker. Boom. That's it. That's the only way that I would ever fly Spirit Airlines. Okay. One more story. And this one's great. We're going to go out on this one. This one comes from New York City, Story from the New York Daily News. Exclusive. Manhattan strip club claimed dancers are sex therapists in an effort to dodge $3.1 million in state taxes. A Midtown strip club tried to get out of paying $3.1 million in state taxes. Okay, real quick. I don't even know if this is telling tales out of school, but Mitsula brought this up in the chat. I flew Las Vegas to SFO for Hood Slam once. It was $60 round trip with only my messenger bag. Yeah, if you can do that, right? In general, Spirit's garbage. I don't know if I can tell you the celebrity, but you'd probably have an educated guess if you know my background. But there is a Las Vegas celebrity, and I'm talking about somebody whose name you know. They have billboards throughout the Strip that is so cheap, despite the fact that this person like makes rich people lists, right? Like lists of really rich people. They fly Spirit Airlines to get to another airport where they can take a prop plane to another place, to a vacation destination that they own. That's how cheap they are. Insanely cheap. Oh, God, it'd be so much better if I could say the name, but I won't say the name. I'm sure somebody's gotten it. In fact, somebody's already gotten it in the chat room. Just go ahead and figure that out. Yes, no. They literally own their own private vacation destination. And they fly Spirit Airlines to get there. Why would Celine Dion do that? I mean, she is French Canadian, so that makes a lot of sense. It's not Celine Dion, though. She might. Okay. Why would Chumley do that? Let's get back to this New York City titty bar. A Midtown strip club tried to get out of paying $3.1 million in state tax by claiming that its dancers are love doctors, offering the same non-taxable services that massage therapists or a sex shrink provides. Penthouse Executive Club made the X-rated argument to the state's tax appeal tribunal when it tried to have an earlier decision by an administrative law judge tossed. The tribunal didn't buy it and instead last month affirmed the judge's decision, ordering the Jiggle joint to cough up the loot. Oh, now this is a sentence. This is a sentence. The Jiggle joint to cough up some loot. The tax fight stemmed from the club's use of executive dollars, an in-house currency that patrons can use to buy dances from strippers or to tip the hosts. The exotic dancers and hosts can exchange the play money for real cash at the end of the night, although the club's management charges a 13% fee for the exchange. That is disgusting. I hate strip clubs that have this. You ain't Disney, dog. You're not Disney. Enough with the fake money. Anyway, whatever. If you're in Manhattan, don't go to the Penthouse Executive Club. Go to whatever Scores is called. Now that we got some friends drawing checks off there. So there we go. I'm shouting out for the home team. Go ahead and check it out. I forget what Scores is called now. But whatever it is, go there. Let's get into your emails. That is justinrobertyoung@gmail.com. justinrobertyoung@gmail.com. That is where you should email. We talked a little bit about the podcast awards last week. We got some emails about whether or not we should submit this podcast for a podcast award after everything that went down. Here were a couple that were representative of that. Billy wrote simply, hell yes. Tim from Pittsburgh said, Don't get too bummed about the podcast awards. It's a proven fact that people who run competitions like this don't like groups that sweep categories or win multiple times in a row. Let me tell you how I know. My sister, right until she left for college, used to dance for Abby Lee Miller Dance Company. Yes, that Abby Lee Miller, the Dance Moms lady. This is before she got a reality television show, became famous, and sold out, but I won't go into that. Now, that sentence is something that is packed with information that I would love to deep dive further into, but this is already a long email. Abby's Dance Company wouldn't do dance competitions basically every weekend, or would do every weekend throughout the competition season. And because the company was so well trained compared to the competition, they would have the girls winning in every category, sometimes multiple years running. The competition hated it and started complaining that Abby's Dance Company was winning too much. And it got to the point where the competition themselves started banning Annie's company from the competition entirely. They'd pull petty tricks and rule changes on them as well, just to keep Abby's well-trained girls out of the running, and causing the girls in the company, like my sister, a lot of tears and stress throughout their time. The people who run these things are extremely prone to being petty. You would think competition runners would just implement rules to prevent these dramas from starting, like forbidding long-running podcasts from entering the podcast award competition ever again if they won that year. That way we'd all know and understand from the start that it's a one-time only thing and they wouldn't have to pull crap like you described to keep the people that they don't want to win from winning. Instead, they get these passive-aggressive, clearly targeted, petty rule changes, and everyone is left with a bad taste in their mouth. Personally, I don't think that you should register. You already won once, twice. Actually, I'm a 4-time podcast award winner. They've already got their passive-aggressive guns aimed at us, so I think one more drama is going to be the result. All right, so to answer, to be fair, the Podcast Awards did put in a legacy podcast thing, but my point was always, why ban the awards that are really big that are drawing attention to your awards? Like, you should be honoring them. Like, oh, you've won 5 years in a row. You are clearly a legendary podcast. You should go out and put a press release out about how great you are because you've won this podcast award so many years in a row. Although I do love the idea that somebody wrote in to compare Todd Cochran to a Little Miss dance competition organizer, because that really is who Todd Cochran is. It really is who the podcast awards are, and we really are Honey Boo Boo. Open Bayou writes, here's my 2 cents on the podcast awards. Stop giving them attention. Stop treating them as a legitimate award, and don't nominate your shows. You, Night Attack, and any show that is remotely attached to Diamond Club now has a target on your back, and Todd is going to fill the committee with people who are like-minded as him that view the group as cheaters and will automatically reject those shows that are somehow connected to DC. Furthermore, please stop treating the podcast awards as legitimate awards. If Todd wants to be legitimate, he would have put effort into learning how to pronounce the names properly, see Robert Jason Young, or the Jizwiz, and to not chastise nominees that use SoundCloud or Stitcher as their main homepage. However, I can somewhat see from Todd's perspective. There's a vocal minority of podcasters that do not want podcasting to become mainstream. There was a panelist at DragonCon that said during his panel that he stopped attending Podcast Movement because they added a monetization track to the convention. That's not what podcasting is about, replied the panelist. And these are the people that are in Todd's ear and hate that the 20 to 30 average listener show gets blown away by shows with tens of thousands of listeners. I mean, with just single-digit thousands, right? Those are good, too. There are podcasters out there that hate how podcasting is becoming mainstream and less of a hobby. He also might be upset by the Hunger Games style competition where Diamond Club shows up to compete against each other, where the winner gets the full support of the group. So here's my reason for continuing to legitimize the awards, whether or not Todd's a penis. I have one, and it looks good on a resume. Let me tell y'all a story. There is an award in Magic called the Merlin. Now, many of you, unless you are involved in the magic scene might not know what a Merlin is. But a Merlin refers to itself as the Oscars of magic. How do you get a Merlin? Well, you are selected by the committee that runs the award. When is the award show? There ain't none. Is there any rhyme or reason as to who gets it? If you listen to rumors, there is maybe some favor trading that you can do if you're famous, or otherwise you can make a monetary contribution to the organization, and you too can be a Merlin Award winner. When I was running iTrex, the Magic News blog, I was kind of incensed by this because I felt like this was a bought and paid for award. And I wound up talking to a friend of mine that had one. Have you? The millennials call it Merlining. I was kind of incensed because I'm like, oh, come on. Some of these people that get these are just weird. Like, and it devalues the concept of a magic award. But you want to know what? It served its purpose. Because when you put that in a press release, that they are a 4-time Merlin Award winner and that the Merlins are the Oscars of magic, the people that are reading that press release don't know a goddamn thing about the Merlins. They just know that there's an award in magic and somebody won 4 of them. So I guess they're impressive. Life is a work, my friends. And if all I have to do is tell Todd, is say podcast awards are important while I'm holding one, then that's what I will do. Whether or not Todd Cochran wants to drown us all in the tub like unwanted puppies. Nate, referring to our SD for GC conundrum, if you didn't listen last week, I'm not going to explain the whole thing, but it involves whether or not you'd feel worse about somebody who committed a oral sex act on somebody for money or somebody who committed an oral sex act on somebody else for a grilled cheese sandwich. Nate writes, I think the reason the grilled cheese multiverse is worse is because the rewards are not equal. A video game system or help with rent is worth more than a grilled cheese sandwich. If the question were more balanced, such as the money being $20 or the grilled cheese being grilled cheese sandwiches for a year, I would view it as equal, but not think differently of either variant of the woman. No, but that's the point. The point of this story is that the grilled cheese sandwich is something that is closer to what we consider to be within the rules sexual contact, right? Like one of the blowjobs that you get in life, you get blowjobs for like meeting somebody at a party and getting drunk. That's not conferring a lot of value on anybody, right? So you could see that the grilled cheese situation is more of a flirty, fun, like, you know, it'd be like the first act in a 90s movie about, you know, the crazy girl that, you know, everybody falls in love with. Like the fact that there's money involved almost now makes it prostitution. Tell you what, SDGC makes you think, IMO. Connor writes, listening to your talk on communication hiatus after breakups, I agree. And even going back to my first serious girlfriend, I've made that my policy. 2 friends of mine started dating long distance and broke up after 4 to 5 months. I explained to the one I'm closest to that she needs to stop communicating. She gives the typical, well, I just like the company, someone to talk to stuff. I get it, and it's not an easy or comfortable thing to do. But now they talk, argue, and emotionally rely on each other just as much as they did when they were dating. How do I get my friend to see the light? Well, just let her know that she's driving off a cliff, and she can either do that or not. You know, it's up to her. Because What you need to do is let her know that at some point, one of them is going to start banging somebody else. And at that point, the other is not going to be pleased with it. And when that happens, it's either going to be her that's upset or it's going to be her hurting him. So if you rely on somebody emotionally, that's a two-way street. That means you can hurt them. It means they're vulnerable to you. And that is going to happen. That's not an if, that's a when. As Paul Heyman says, it is not a prediction, it's a spoiler. Pinkerton writes, I ordered the Teespring DC shirt recommended, and then it recommended under it, it's a Pinkerton thing shirt, so it's an everything thing. Even my last name is kind of a thing. Unless you just really loved the best Weezer album ever made. More updates on the In Your House tour, which I guess we're gonna have to keep pushing back until the end of the summer, until we nail something down here. We've done this song and dance before, but here we go again. Justin, come to Charlotte. Hang out with your extended family if they are still here. They're not, unfortunately, although I love Charlotte. Woo! North Carolina. Hell, make life easy. Do the JuRY In Your House tour post-Dragon Con. You're already in the South. I'm sure between Atlanta, Greenville, South Carolina, and Charlotte, you can find folks to host you. I have a full-on studio that I can use for podcasts. You know, the weather isn't an issue during that time of the year. You have no excuses. Oh, well, you do, but I'm just throwing my hat in the ring again. Maybe I should just run the South again. Maybe I'll do some real Southern shit. Yeah. Maybe I'll do some like Charlotte, like Tennessee. Oh, we had somebody from Knox County. Oh, now we're cooking. Maybe we come back to Birmingham. All right, Southern. If you are in the American South, I'm talking about Georgia, the Carolinas, Tennessee, Alabama. Holler at me. I'm going to do the NWA circuit. Hit me up, JustinRobertYoung@gmail.com, JuRY in the subject line. Let me know if either you'd be interested in seeing me there or I can use your living room. Bathroom etiquette. I got into a fight with an old man last week because I knocked on the door while he was in there in a unisex bathroom. Ken writes, he asked me, was it a unisex bathroom? Because that makes a world of difference. Would you say that you have a masculine knock? If I were having a desperate hot snakes disaster in a public washroom and I heard a feminine knock outside, I would either try and escape through the ventilation system or decide to take up permanent residence in said washroom, doing my best to accept my fate as a weird washroom hermit. That said, I would only use unisex for number 2 if the only alternative in that situation were my trousers. There are only a few ladies out there who actually know that I poop, and I aim to keep it that way. Well, Ken, it indeed was a unisex bathroom. And I have zero compunction leaving a goddamn radioactive crater for anybody. 4-quadrant. Young, old, male, female. Oh, it doesn't matter. If I got to drop a bomb, then y'all are going to deal with it. Facts. Hashtag real life. I don't care. But as for whether or not I have a masculine knock, here, hold on. I got my handheld mic here. I'm going to knock right now. I'm going to turn off this other mic. I'm going to knock right now, and you guys can tell me. I'll try to do the knock that I did. Okay? Here we go. This is me. This is going to be me knocking. Here we go. All right, one more. Here we go. Let me know if that's a masculine knock or not. If it's a masculine knock, then let me know. Well, I mean, listen, y'all will be able to just listen to it. So there we go. Jesus, Kruvek. Was that Ashley knocking? Adventure advice. Oh, this was a great one. So Vlad has been emailing in saying he's going to take some time off from everything and he wants to go on adventures. Matthew wrote in great adventure advice. Here we go. I know I'm a little behind on the show, but I have suggestions for Vlad and his lifetime of adventures. If he's willing to spend a little money, I would suggest becoming PADI certified in scuba diving. Not only would he get to learn an interesting skill set in an underwater exploration, but he will meet new people, and most of the time the class goes someplace warm and sandy for their final certification. It's a lot of fun, a cool hobby, and can be expanded to a potential career. He puts in parentheses, have you seen how much underwater welders make? Yeah, no, that's a fact. They make a lot of money. True story. True story. When you work as a waiter in South Florida, you're going to run into some PADI instructors or people that do that on the side or just scuba dive a lot for fun. Those people are centered. There is something about scuba diving a lot that just brings you a level of peace that I can't really describe. Scuba diving's rad. I was once PADI certified when I was a younger man. But I could not recommend it more. I highly recommend anybody in general, but Vlad specifically, get PADI certified. Also, just go ahead and understand, great place to meet chicks. I mean, A1, top of the list. Like, it's perfect. It's amazing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that about brings us to the end of this show. If you want free Diamond Club stickers, head on over to bit.ly/stickers or DIAF. That is all one word, no uppercase letters. Somebody who signs up for the mailing list between now and next week will get a free set of stickers. And by the way, that's been about 5 or 6 people per week, so you have a 1 in 6 chance of getting free stickers. You can't lose. Head on over there right now, bit.ly/stickers or DIAF. Of course, you can email me, JustinRobertYoung at gmail.com, JustinRobertYoung@gmail.com. Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at JustinRYoung. If you would like to tell me, literally, talk to me about anything we've talked about strip clubs, about Meat Mountain, about the Nugs Kid, about Kickstarter advice, about SDGC, whatever you want, head on over there and talk to me on Snapchat. I'm Justin R. Young. And, of course, you can hashtag join the conversation at diamondclub.reddit.com. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Justin Robert Young, and I would like to wish you guys a fantastic week. And, of course, have my voice ringing in your ears. Please don't die.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.